I'm a woman and I'm 28 years old, so I left my parents' house a long time ago. I have my own house, a job, and a fiance to whom I officially got engaged 3 months ago. My parents divorced when I was 16, but they've maintained civil contact, and I have good relationships with both of them. My father got with a woman 5 years ago who already had a daughter. She's now 22. My mother got with a man 7 years ago, and he has two sons, now 16 and 19. I get along pretty well with my stepbrothers and have always tried to involve them in activities with me, going to the shops, playing video games or board games together, or even just taking them out for a meal. They're good kids, and I enjoy their company, so I tried to bond with them, and luckily everything is good between us. I tried to do the same with my stepsister, but things never went very well. From what I know, she's had several problems since her father abandoned her, and she still goes to therapy for it. So she's not the friendliest person in the world. I tried for a while to understand her and to try to have at least a civil relationship, but it didn't work. So I gave up after the first year. Her mother's a good person and has apologized several times for her daughter's behavior, begging me not to hold a grudge against her. And I've tried to do so despite everything. Just to give you an idea, my stepsister has abandonment syndrome, diagnosed by her therapist, and is very clingy with her mother, my father, and her boyfriend. My father believes that her hateful behavior towards me is because she sees me as some kind of obstacle that can take my father away from her at any time. He's tried to mediate the situation, talk to her, and have some conversations with her therapist too about it, and we've actually made some progress over the years. Now she's no longer openly against me, and we can even have casual conversations without her giving me the cold shoulder or aggressive responses. However, she still tries to do some spite, even if subtly, to keep my father's attention only on her. I have my job, which took away a lot of my time, so I can't really spend much time with my dad, and we mostly talk through calls and text. But apparently, she's had a meltdown in the past when she saw him reply to a text from me while he was with her. I admit that it's something that bothers me. I can't help it, but luckily my father is able to manage things by giving her the security that he won't abandon her without reducing his time for me. The problem is now, my fiance and I have decided on a wedding date for the end of May. We told our close relatives 2 weeks ago, and we'll soon start making official invitations and sending them to everyone. 2 days ago, while I was at my dad's house and we were talking about when to make the appointment to go look at the wedding dress, I will bring my dad, my mom, my grandma, and my best friend, so I'm trying to find a day that works for everyone. My stepsister butts into the conversation, telling my dad that she's planning on taking a family trip with him and her mom. My father was a little taken aback by that request in the middle of another conversation and simply said that that was fine with him and that they'd organize it later. But she immediately said that she had already thought about where to go and when. Apparently she wants to go to Thailand at the end of May. Yes, the very week that I'm supposed to get married. I got annoyed, but I didn't say anything. It was my father who managed the conversation and told her that she had to choose another date because he had to attend my wedding that week. Let's be clear. I also invited her and her mother. I didn't leave them out, and her mother also seemed happy to have been included. Well, the conversation escalated quickly, and she started having an emotional breakdown, accusing my dad of playing favorites, that he didn't love her, that he was leaving her behind, and other things like that. My dad was calm and firm the whole time, explaining to her that she couldn't make such a demand and expect him to agree. So she started lashing out at me. When she yelled at me, "Why does he always have to choose you?" I lost my temper and replied, "Of course he chooses me. I'm his daughter. Who the heck are you?" She froze, shocked, and then ran to her room to cry. Well, I felt a bit bad right after I said that because I know her problems, but I can't deny that her behavior really bothered me. I mean, what did she expect? That my father would skip his own daughter's wedding to go on vacation with her? A vacation that we all know she wanted to take the week of my wedding, on purpose. My father was also a bit upset by my words, and I apologized to him, telling him that I felt sorry for her and her problems, but I had tolerated her behavior for so long that this was the last straw. He said he understood me and would try to work things out with her, but it was clear that I'd hurt him too with my words. I admit I was harsh, but I don't feel guilty for saying that to her. It was the truth after all. But should I have had more consideration for her, letting my dad solve the problem without saying anything? When I think about my father's eyes full of pain, I really feel like a jerk. Am I the idiot for reminding my stepsister that she's not my father's daughter? Not the idiot. Okay, this girl didn't become part of your dad's life until she was 17. It's insane that she's this possessive of him and would try to prevent him from going to your wedding. She's now an adult, and I honestly don't care what her abandonment issues are. She deserved that smackdown. You've tolerated way more than could reasonably be expected of you. I would apologize again to your dad for your reaction, but make it clear that choosing to appease her at your expense would probably damage your relationship with him beyond repair. I would also make it clear to both your dad and his wife that if she creates any issue at your wedding, she will be asked to leave. Any sort of outburst or drama from her will not be tolerated. I would be entirely out of patience. To be honest, after this behavior, I would uninvite her from the wedding. Stepsister will only cause drama that day out of pure spite. Imagine the tantrum she would get over a father-daughter dance or during speech time. If someone's stepsister's going to show up in a white dress, it'll be this one. Yikes! Seriously, I can't imagine her not throwing a fit as OP is being walked down the aisle. OP, it's okay to cut her out completely. She's too darn old to be acting this psycho. She needs to be locked up at some inpatient facility until she can get a grasp on reality. Replying to a text should never be a meltdown. Toddlers are more mature than this. Jesus, they need to cut the umbilical cord a bit and make her leave the house or have some type of life away from them, because she's going to be a 60-year-old woman screaming at a coffin, saying, "I knew you would leave me." I, 64 female, have 3 kids, and they're all married. This post is about my son and his wife, Jenny. Jenny struggles with infertility and she has no children. My other son, daughter-in-law, is expecting next month, and my daughter recently had their own kid, grandson. Everyone was busy for Mother's Day, and they couldn't meet up with me for the holiday. That's fine. They're starting their own families. I thought it would be nice to send my expecting daughter-in-law and my son and my daughter a Mother's Day basket. Jenny always comments that her 2 dogs are the first grandkids. I always thought it was a joke. She's big on being a dog mom. My daughter posted a picture in the group chat of everything she got for Mother's Day, including the basket. My other daughter-in-law also thanked me for her basket in the chat. Jenny called me soon after and asked where her basket was. I was confused and asked what she meant. I thought she was pregnant, and she was just telling me now. She clarified that since I already had 2 grandkids by her, she then said her dogs' names. I was even more confused by this, and she clarified that she's her dog's mother and should have gotten the basket. I told her she's not a mother. Mother's Day is for women who raise human children and not pet owners. She got upset and cursed me out for not getting her a basket, and she's a parent. My son's telling me to apologize and send a Mother's Day basket over. He's calling me an idiot for not sending her a basket and telling her that she's just a pet owner. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I understand that her infertility might be hard for her, and she loves her dogs. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't make a mother. While people may love their pets, I love my dog. The reality is they aren't children. Disagree. You are the idiot. Not sending the basket wasn't the issue. Saying her daughter-in-law is not a mother because she's not raising humans might have been the harsh line crossed for someone dealing with infertility. Send the basket and realize not everyone's life has to look like mine to respect it. Signed, grateful grandma to 4 children and 2 grandcats. The holiday is Mother's Day, not Women's Day. If it were Women's Day, then sure, send her a basket. But the holiday celebrates women who are mothers and the sacrifices that they entail. Nobody's out there on Father's Day demanding we honor every dude with a dog. This is silly, the way women have been cheapening a holiday that celebrates motherhood. Also, OP had no way of knowing how she would react to a Mother's Day basket. She may have viewed it as a painful reminder of her infertility. I agree. Also, why is OP, who's a mother, giving gifts on Mother's Day? It's very kind, but really, where the heck is her basket? It sort of goes both ways. I feel bad for the daughter-in-law, but it seems like this coping mechanism isn't healthy, especially when she starts getting upset with people and demanding gifts. She needs therapy, not coddling. OP said above that she tried to be kind. That would have been an extremely strange conversation to have, and nothing OP said would have been acceptable. One of my close friends hosted a dinner at her place last weekend. She called it a potluck and sent a group text saying we should each bring a little something, drinks, snacks, whatever. It wasn't anything fancy, just casual. I asked her what I should bring and mentioned I'd be coming straight from work and might be a little rushed. She replied that I didn't need to worry about it. She had plenty of food and just wanted me to come. So I didn't bring anything. I showed up and said hi to everyone. And honestly, the night was going fine. People brought stuff, a salad, some cupcakes, and a couple of bottles of wine. I was planning to just help clean up or do dishes since I didn't bring anything, and I figured she meant what she said. But later on, while people were complimenting the food, she made this offhanded comment like, well, not everyone contributed, but we're still glad she showed up. Everyone laughed, and it didn't seem super serious, but I felt my face get hot. I didn't know how to respond. I stayed polite and tried not to act weird, but I felt uncomfortable the rest of the night. On the way home, I kept thinking about it. Maybe she was a little annoyed, but she told me not to bring anything. And now I feel like she put me on blast in front of people for something I didn't even do wrong. I haven't said anything to her yet because it feels small, and I don't want to be dramatic, but I also can't shake the feeling that it wasn't fair. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, however. I feel like your text to her may have been a bit manipulative. The whole "I'll be rushed, I'm coming from work" was really irrelevant and wouldn't have stopped you from buying a bottle of wine, leaving it in the car, and then contributing to the potluck. It could have easily come across as you trying to get out of contributing. It would have been so simple to say nothing and just bring something non-perishable. In the future, just do this. It may be worth also looking over to your messages to see if they can be interpreted as you trying to get out of contributing. Agreed. The host may have thought OP's trying to get out of bringing anything by saying they'll be rushed. The host then graciously said OP didn't have to worry about it, but resented OP and very ungraciously complained about it at the party. The host was out of line for that, but perhaps the situation could have been avoided if OP had replied, "You don't need to worry about it," with, "No, I want to bring something. What can I bring that I bought the previous day?" That makes it more explicit that OP isn't trying to get something for nothing by violating potluck rules. So is OP responsible if their friend can't effectively communicate because they have people-pleasing tendencies? I don't know. I would always assume the best of my friends and be intentional with my words, but what do I know? This whole situation could have been avoided if the host had responded with, "Just bring some pop, nothing fancy needed," if it was so important that she came with something. Otherwise, why publicly shame when you couldn't privately communicate? Everyone's the idiot here. You are the idiot. I don't buy your innocent act. She told you to bring something when she invited you to a potluck and asked you to bring something to the invite. Honestly, I think you asked what to bring since you were coming straight from work, and it was more of you trying to get out of bringing anything. Have you never been inside of a grocery store? Most things don't require refrigeration, which you could have brought to work with you and kept at your desk. Like, why did you need to ask what to bring? I just don't get it. It's a casual potluck. A bag of chips is better than nothing. In February, I, a 19-year-old female, arrived as an au pair in the U.S. If you don't know how the program works, basically you're hired as a nanny, but you're not paid a lot. I get $196 per week because the family gives you a place to stay and food in their house, and they also pay for your studies, up to $500. It was the only way I could afford to have the exchange experience, and I really wanted to take this chance, so I came. The 2 kids I take care of are great. We talk a lot, and I've already learned so much from them. The problem I have is with their parents. Since I've arrived, they've told me that I'm only allowed to eat the items from one cabinet, nothing else, and they'll only replenish once a month, and they have cameras and they'll see if I try anything. I don't know if this is true, but I wouldn't steal anyway. In my cabinet, they just put tortillas, a few canned vegetables, beans, and mac and cheese boxes. No snacks, drinks, cheese, or meat, chicken, none of those. I talked with my agency here, and they told me that the family's allowed to do that as long as they give me food. I can try to match with another family, wait for the process, or return home. I don't want to give up, so I stayed. But the food thing was really getting to me, so I started to use the money to put things in my cabinet. The problem is that they're super healthy, so they don't let their kids eat Chips Ahoy, Pringles, beef jerky, or stuff like that. I wasn't trying to eat in front of the kids on purpose, but I spend most of my day with them when they aren't in their classes, and I get hungry, so I eat in front of them, and they started to ask me to eat too. My money doesn't get me very far. My parents have no way of helping me, and these snacks can last for days when I pace myself. So I just told them that they'd need to ask their parents for snacks because I didn't have a lot to share. They did, and their mom blew up at me in front of them, telling me that I had a lot of audacity denying her kids food inside her home, and that if I ate in front of them, I had to share, and that I couldn't bring this kind of junk into her home. I couldn't really say anything in fear of her just dumping me on the street, but I told her that I didn't have enough money to buy an amount that I could share with her kids or buy healthier, and that I would really like to share mine if they shared theirs. I meant the food the family eats. I don't ask the kids for their snacks or food ever. She said I was lucky she really needed a nanny, and that's it. I told my parents about it, and they think she's wrong, but that I am too for how I dealt with it, and for taking it out on the kids when it's not their fault. My au pair friends also think I'm an idiot for denying food to little kids. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You're in the U.S., and a family is treating you like this, and your agency is doing nothing to help you? You're allowed nothing other than what's in your cabinet. What do you drink? Water? How do you feed the kids? Are you allowed to eat the same lunch? Do they share dinner? And now they want you to share the snacks you buy with your money? The little that they give you with their children. This sounds like a Law and Order episode. You're essentially a slave, and I sincerely doubt that this is legal. I would tell this agency they better do something fast to match you with a family, and they need to do better background checks for the parents they hire, or you will be blasting them all over social media. I would be telling those parents that you have to wonder how their coworkers would feel if they found out how they treated you. In fact, I think you should start a Nanny Horror Stories Insta page. On the surface, sure, that may look nice. She gets paid $196 a week to nanny. I'm not sure how many hours a week that may be, but if we assume 40 at minimum, that's $4.90 an hour, which is far below the current federal minimum wage of $7.25. She lives with people who are denying her access to their food, but then think it's wrong for her to do the same. The double standard and the power imbalance between the two parties are what make this a dangerous situation. I read an article the other day about how nannies are in such short supply. I would leave that family and find another. You're young, on a visa, and think that you have to let these people treat you however they want? That's so far from how it should be. You're not the idiot. You're just working for idiots, and your agency is run by idiots. Please find a new family.